Hello, everybody, and welcome to Gene's Reviews from a regular dude, where I do trailer reactions, I react to YouTube videos, I review YouTube channels. Occasionally, I'll review a movie, but really, I just do whatever the hell I want. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Gene's Reviews from a regular dude down in the basement. Today, we're going to check one out from Top 5 Unknowns. This is 5 unexplained mysteries, real horror stories of true paranormal cases. Wonder if Ed and Lorraine Warren are going to be on here. Let's check it out.
Many unexplained mysteries include real stories of paranormal cases, such as hauntings, sightings of strange things, unknown creatures, encounters with allegedly otherworldly craft, and other inexplicable events that have left experts baffled for decades. The people involved in these cases often describe how they lived through real-life horror stories and consider themselves lucky to have escaped with their lives. Number 5. At the start of the 1890s, Belle Miller from Springfield, Illinois, started a floral business that catered to the wealthy residents of the city. Her business did well enough to eventually cover an entire city block in greenhouses, and in 1909, she decided to use her hard-earned money to construct her dream home at 835 South 2nd Street. When the house was completed, it was visited by the area's wealthiest and most influential people, who stayed in the luxury apartments that were outfitted with large fireplaces, spacious verandas, and impressive oak detailing. In 1994, the house was renovated and the apartments were turned into opulent guest rooms. The following year, the building was added to the National Register of Historic Places. But many of the guests who have visited the property believe that Belle loved her home so much that she never left and still lovingly looks after it. Guests as well as staff have reported hearing soft but caring voices that speak, seemingly from out of nowhere. Others have reported seeing the ghostly figure of a woman moving through the house and passing through the house's doorways. On many occasions, a book that was tightly packed with others on a shelf was seen placed in the middle of the room without explanation. Another report states that the wallpaper in one of the rooms started to peel away from the wall due to age. But the following morning, it had been expertly repaired, though it hadn't been done by any of the staff. The house's elevator is also known to act up, taking guests to a floor other than the one that they chose, despite the fact that it's been serviced and checked on multiple occasions and deemed to be in perfect working order. The crystal candy dish inside the house is often spoken about, as its lid can be heard being removed and replaced when no one is near it. It's believed that Belle is the cause of these unexplained mysteries, and that she is a friendly, benign spirit who decided to stay where she was happiest during her life.
She has a sweet tooth, going for the candy.
Number 4.
Bowl.
Due to its barren landscape and the smoke that can be seen emanating from the ground due to its smoldering underground coal deposits, the Badlands of South Dakota are known to many as hell without fire. But the nickname isn't only fitting to the scenery of the region, since there is a paranormal mystery that's known to many who have visited the area. Near to a spot known as Watchdog, many people have described seeing the haunting silhouette of a woman who allegedly lost her life there, seemingly lost and looking for help. Travelers through the area have reported seeing a woman waving her arms to get their attention. Naturally, they stop to see if she needs assistance, but she seems frozen with fear, prompting them to approach her. When they do get closer to her, she still remains unmoved and completely silent until she's asked if she's in need of help, at which point she lifts her arms above her head and starts screaming at the top of her lungs before instantly disappearing, only to be seen moments later on a nearby hilltop, wringing her hands in agony. On some occasions, people have seen the woman accompanied by a skeleton that responds to the sound of music. It's said that it would play its violin along with the music until sunrise, but then it slowly starts to fade away. Some people believe that if the skeleton is followed, it will act as a Pied Piper, using the sounds of its violin to lure people onto the nearby cliffs or canyons, where they're likely to lose their lives. Number 3. On the 7th of January, 1948, the Godman Army Airfield at Fort Knox in Kentucky became the site of an unexplained paranormal mystery that ended up costing one pilot his life and became one of the most widely publicized UFO events at the time. At around 1:45 p.m. on that day, the airfield was informed by the Kentucky Highway Patrol that there was an unusual object in the sky near Madisonville. Reports also came in from Owensboro and Irvington,
All I
describing
see
the
so far
object
is a
as between
plane.
250 and 300 feet in diameter. Sergeant Quentin Blackwell, who was in the control tower at Fort Knox at the time, spotted the object along with 2 other witnesses who were also in the tower. Base Commander Colonel Guy Hicks spotted the object through his binoculars, describing it as extremely white with a red border along its bottom section. For the next 90 minutes, it
Did they
seemed
take
to
any
hang
pictures,
unmoving
or?
in the sky, and witnesses at the Clinton County Army Airfield in Ohio reported that it looked like a flaming red cone with a strange green mist trailing behind it. 4 military aircraft that were in the vicinity were told to investigate the craft, though one of them had to turn back as it was low on fuel. The other 3 planes, one of which was being piloted by Captain Thomas Mantell, gave chase and described the object as so small that it was unidentifiable. They were told by Blackwell to level their planes out in order to get a better view of the object, but Mantell ignored the order and continued to climb after his fellow pilots withdrew at 22,500 feet in altitude. There is some dispute as to the description that Mantell gave of the object, as some witnesses claim that he said it was metallic in appearance and of tremendous size, though others have reported that he never actually said this. Mantell was flying without an oxygen mask, and as he continued to chase
I'm a little confused. They just said it was tremendous in size. Earlier, didn't they say that it was so small it couldn't be detected?
the object, he passed 25,000 feet in altitude. This caused him to suffer from a lack of oxygen, and he lost consciousness, causing his plane to spiral towards the ground. Mantell's plane crashed on a farm south of Franklin before he would regain consciousness, and by 3:50 p.m., the strange object had disappeared. The incident was widely covered by newspapers across America, and eventually revisited by investigators of the famous Blue Book Project. An Air Force major stated that the object was, in fact, the planet
That
Venus
looks like
that was
Plan 9
mistaken
from
for a
outer
UFO.
space or something.
But these claims were later disproven, as many reports described the object as much bigger than the planet would have appeared in the sky. Others believe that it was a US Navy skyhook weather balloon, and although plausible, many people rejected this theory, as no skyhook balloons were supposed to be in the area at that time. No further explanations have ever been found, and the Mantell UFO remains an unsolved paranormal mystery.
Well, I wish they had some actual pictures of it.
Number 2. On the 20th of February, 1938, 34-year-old Alma Fielding from Thornton Heath in England invited reporters from the Sunday Pictorial newspaper to visit her house, as her family was experiencing unexplained paranormal events that they could not explain. 2 of the newspaper's reporters were sent to the house to investigate, and when they arrived, Alma opened the door. To their surprise, they saw an egg flying through the air and smashing in front of their feet as it hit the ground. As they walked towards the kitchen, a china statuette of a dog fell from a countertop onto the ground, and a can opener flew across the room about 6 feet off the ground. As they sat in the living room interviewing the woman, her teacup levitated off of its saucer and smashed into pieces mid-air.
Could you imagine all that happening to you? I'd be out of there so quick that your head would spin.
In the next moment, the saucer in her hand shattered, slicing her thumb, and while the cut was being attended to, they heard another crash in the kitchen, and found that a wine glass had smashed onto the floor, despite being kept in a locked closet. Next, another egg sailed through the air and crashed into a sideboard, and a large piece of coal lifted from a grate and flew through the air, narrowly missing one of the reporters before crashing into a nearby wall. Alma told reporters that a week earlier, she and her husband had been asleep when they heard something shattering in their room. She turned on her bedside lamp, and they saw that a tumbler had fallen to the ground. But immediately, another glass sailed through the air and smashed against the wall behind them. Her husband, Les, told her to turn off the light so that they could see if anything else would happen, and she did so. Immediately, a strange wind blew through the room, lifting their bedsheet over their heads. Alma decided to switch the light on again, but when she hit the switch, nothing happened. Les tried his bedside lamp, but got the same result, and Alma started calling for help. Her son Donald and a tenant, George, rushed into the room and had to dodge a container of face cream that flew straight at them. George was suddenly hit by a penny and a shilling, and decided to run downstairs to find matches. When he returned and lit the lamp, they found that Alma's bedside lamp's bulb was lying on a chair on the other side of the room, still hot to the touch, but in perfect condition. The next morning, the paranormal activity continued when Alma attended to cook breakfast. An egg inexplicably smashed and a saucer snapped in half for no reason.
Okay, this poltergeist has a strange obsession with eggs, huh?
This is when she decided to contact the Sunday Pictorial, who ran the story with the heading, quote, "This is the most mysterious front page story we have ever printed." No one was ever able to explain the events that took place in the Fielding house, and it remains an unsolved paranormal case. Number 1. Shoemaker, James Byrne Worson from Leamington in England, was a prolific long-distance runner who often irritated his friends and family by bragging about his ability to run such long distances. In September of 1873, two of his friends, Barham Wise, a dry goods merchant, and Hemerson Burns, a photographer, challenged Worson to a bet that he couldn't run from Leamington to Coventry without stopping, a distance that is widely reported in the telling of the story as 40 miles, but in fact it's closer to just 11 miles.
Oh, okay.
Worson, who had been drinking at the time, jumped at the opportunity to show off his abilities, and immediately accepted the challenge. They moved out into the street, where Worson would begin his run, with Wise and Burns following closely behind in a horse-drawn carriage, so that he would be in their sights at all times. Despite the fact that he had been drinking, Worson made the first few miles of his run with great ease, at times laughing and joking with his two friends, who were doing their best to give him a hard time by heckling him. A few moments later, Worson's foot seemed to strike something in the road, and he pitched forward as he tripped. He let out a shriek as he fell, in plain sight of his two friends, and vanished into thin air before he hit the ground. Confused, the two friends started searching for him, but to no avail.
He slipped into another dimension.
The incident, they were arrested for being intoxicated, but were soon released when it became apparent that they were completely sober. Worson was never seen again, and his mysterious disappearance still remains an unsolved paranormal mystery. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Yeah, it sounds to me like he slipped into another dimension and was lost forever. Crazy. Let's see here. I got a joke. Let's find a good joke. I didn't mean to push all your buttons. I was just trying to hit mute. Thank you, everybody. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hashtag Mean Gene, all that fun stuff. And if you like this video, tell all your friends, leave a comment down below. And if you didn't like it, then just shut up. And I will see you next time.